Hey there, shadow chasers and lore lovers. Did you know that in 1462, a lone prince facing an unstoppable empire didn't swing a sword? He unleashed a silent killer that turned victory into nightmare. Today, we're diving into the horrifying tale of Vlad the Impaler's plague war against Sultan Mehmed II, where invisible terror routed an army that toppled empires, revealing the brutal genius of a man history calls Dracula. By the end, you'll see why one man's madness became a masterstroke that echoed through centuries. If you crave these hidden horrors of the past, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. We've got more untold battles coming your way. Imagine a boy of 11, ripped from his family's castle in the misty Carpathians, dragged across borders to a gilded cage in the heart of enemy lands. That was young Vlad Dracula in 1442, hostage to the Ottoman sultans, a pawn to ensure his father. Vlad Dracula, meaning dragon, kept his throne in Wallachia and paid the blood tribute of Christian boys for the Sultan's elite Janissary corps. Wallachia, that rugged sliver of land between the mighty Danube and the jagged mountains, was no kingdom of fairy tales. It was a buffer state, squeezed between the rising Ottoman tide and the scheming courts of Hungary and Poland. Vlad's father, inducted into the Order of the Dragon, swore to defend Christendom, but survival meant bowing low to Mehmed's forebears. As years dragged on in Constantinople's opulent prisons, young Vlad learned Turkish fluently, studied the enemy's ways, their rigid discipline, their unyielding faith, their janissaries marching like clockwork demons. But resentment festered. He watched slaves beaten, heard whispers of his father's struggles back home. By 1447, betrayal struck. Vlad's father and elder brother Mircea were murdered by rival Bojars, Wallachian nobles hungry for power and dumped in a pit staked through the heart. Vlad, just 16, fled to Moldavia, then back to Ottoman protection, but the seeds of rage were sown. Was it here, amid the Sultan's splendor and savagery, that Vlad first dreamed of turning their own weapons against them? Fast forward to 1456. With Hungarian backing from the cunning king Matthias Corvinus, Vlad seizes Wallachia in a bloody coup. He invites the treacherous boyars to a feast at his fortress in Targovict, then slaughters them, impaling hundreds on stakes outside the city walls. Why? To break the cycle of betrayal that killed his family. "I have killed the boyars who plotted against my father," he'd later boast in letters. But Vlad wasn't just purging traitors. He was forging a realm of iron will. He rebuilt fortresses, enforced harsh loss thieves, hands nailed to doors, adulterers roasted alive. Peasants whispered. He dined among them in disguise, rewarding honesty with gold, punishing deceit with spikes. To the poor, he was a just avenger. To nobles, a devil in dragon's clothing. Yet, peace was a lie. The Ottomans demanded their annual tribute, 10,000 ducats and 500 boys. Vlad paid once, twice, then stopped. In 1459, envoys arrived from Sultan Mehmed II, the Conqueror, fresh from toppling Constantinople in 1453. "Come pay homage in person," they demanded, eyes gleaming with the promise of chains. Vlad smiled, hosted them lavishly, then nailed their turbans to their skulls with hot irons, sending the writhing corpses back as a message. "Tell your master, I keep my customs." Mehmed stung, plotted revenge. By winter 1461, Vlad struck first. Disguised as Turks, his raiders slipped across the frozen Danube into Bulgarian lands, torching villages, skewering thousands. In a letter to Corvinus dated February 11, 1462, Vlad tallied his grim harvest, 23,884 Turks and Bulgarians, without counting those burned in their homes or whose heads were not brought to my officials. Heads piled like macabre trophies at his court. The Ottomans reeled. This wasn't rebellion, it was holy war. But Vlad knew the storm was coming. He trained his peasants in guerrilla arts, stockpiled crude hand cannons from Saxon merchants, and whispered to his inner circle, "We fight not with numbers, but with shadows and fear." As spring bloomed in 1462, Mehmed assembled his host, the second largest since Constantinople, over 150,000 strong, with 90,000 cavalry gleaming like a black sea. War drums echoed from Adrianople. Vlad, with maybe 30,000 ragged souls, faced oblivion. Yet in his eyes burned a fire forged in captivity. The dragon was awake. June 4th, 1462. The Danube churns under a blood-red sun as Mehmed II's armada. Hundreds of galleys bristling with sipahis crosses at Nikopol. The Sultan, just 30, rides at the van, silken robes over chainmail, a jeweled turban crowning his hawkish face. The conqueror, who humbled Byzantium, now eyes Wallachia like a wolf scenting lamb. His goal, not just tribute, but regime change. Install Vlad's younger brother Radu, the handsome, beautiful prince groomed in Ottoman courts, loyal and pliable. Radu, who'd shared Vlad's hostage years, now led 10,000 auxiliary troops, a dagger in the family heart. Brother against brother. The chronicler Lawanikos Chalkokondyles would write, "In a land where loyalty is but a sharpened stake, Mehmed's army snakes through the plains, janissaries in fezzes, Tamariot cavalry with curved killage swords, wagons groaning under siege, engines. They land at Brela first, torching the port, then march inland. But Wallachia greets them with silence, a ghost land. Vlad's orders were ruthless. Evacuate every soul to the mountains, burn the crops, slaughter the herds. Leave them nothing but ashes and echoes," he commanded. Wells poisoned with lime and offal, rivers dammed to flood lowlands into sucking mires. Ottoman scouts return empty-handed, horses lathered, men muttering of curses. Thirst bites first, the summer heat, a furnace at 100 degrees, turns sweat to delirium. Have you ever wondered what desperation tastes like? To Mehmed's veterans who'd stormed Vienna's gates, this was no battle. It was a slow unraveling. Then came the raids. Vlad's cavalry, light horsemen in leather cuirasses, faces blackened with soot, struck like vipers from the fog-shrouded forests. Hit at dawn, vanish by dusk. A supply train ambushed near the Argic River. Wagons splintered, guards impaled alive. Their screams a night chorus. Tursun Beg, the Sultan's scribe, chronicled the horror. The infidels' shadows fell upon us like the plague itself, leaving death in their wake. But Vlad's true genius lay deeper in the invisible blade, drawing from whispers of Ottoman weaknesses, diseases rife in their crowded camps. He unleashed what we'd call biological terror. Leper beggars, syphilitic wanderers, plague-riddled outcasts, dressed in stolen Turkish garb, sent shambling into the enemy lines. Go, spread the gifts of God, Vlad reportedly urged them, his voice steel over sorrow. Tuberculosis coughs mingled with the march. Boils swelled under silk tunics. By week's end, fever tents dotted the Ottoman rear, men retching blood, delirium twisting prayers to screams. Chalkokondyles, our eyewitness from afar, notes the spread, sickness felled more than steel, as the prince's cunning turned affliction to ally. It wasn't mercy. Vlad sacrificed his own afflicted to save the realm. But strategy, cold as Carpathian stone. As the Ottomans pressed toward Targovik, 40 miles from the capital, the raids intensified. One chronicler tells of a Wallachian Bojar, once Vlad's foe, now riding beside him. "My lord, the Turks drink our poison and breathe our death. How long till they break?" Vlad's reply, a grim smile, "Till their conqueror tastes fear." The army, that invincible horde, began to fray. Deserters slipping away, horses dropping in harness. Mehmed pushed on, blind to the noose tightening. Little did he know, the true assault brewed under a hunter's moon. June 17th, 1462. Midnight cloaks the Ottoman camp outside Targovek like a thief's hood. Torches flicker on silk pavilions. Janissaries snore in rows, the air thick with curry and horse sweat. Mehmed slumbers in his imperial tent, guarded by 2,000 elite, dreaming of golden tribute. But in the woods, 7,000 Wallachians gather, Vlad at their head, clad in black, his dragon banner limp in the still air. "Tonight, we end the serpent," he whispers to his captain's eyes like coals. The plan, a suicide stroke, crash the camp, sow chaos, behead the Sultan. Dressed in looted Ottoman gear, turbans askew, scimitars at hips, Vlad's men blend into the gloom. Handgunners load powder, archers knock arrows, a horn's low moan, and hell breaks loose. They erupt like wolves from the mist, slashing tent ropes, firing into shadows. Confusion reigns, Turks mistake kin for foe, killage blades flashing in panic. Vlad himself charges the vizier's quarter, his sword drinking deep, blood painting his face, a demon's mask. For the dragon, for Wallachia. The cry ripples, drowning screams. Chalka condyles paints the bedlam, horses trampled the fallen. Fires leaped from tent to tent, and the night wept red. Thousands fall, estimates whisper 8,000 Ottoman dead. But Vlad misses the prize. Mehmed's guards spirit him away on a swift mare. The Sultan's roar, lost in the din, cursed be this imp's sorcery. By dawn, the Wallachians melt back, leaving pyres and riddled corpses. A tactical feint. No, Vlad's all in bid for legend. Mehmed rallies, fury his shield. He storms Targovik at noon, cannons thundering on empty gates. The city, a husk, women and children fled to cellars and hills, larders, razed. But as his vanguard crests the ridge, the world tilts. Before them stretches not a field, but a charnel apocalypse, the forest of the Impaled. 20,000 stakes, some say 23,844 per Vlad's own tally, jut like blackened teeth across 7 stadia, groaning under the weight of the damned. Men, women, children from the Danube raids, Turks, Bulgarians, sympathizers, even infants skewered to mothers' breasts. The sun bakes the tableau. Maggots writhe, a miasma rises, thick as soup, stinging eyes and choking throats. Birds wheel overhead, unwilling feasters. Mehmed halts his steed, face ashen beneath his helm. "What manner of devil rules here?" he mutters. Per Turson begs quill. Janissaries retch, Sipahis cross themselves against the evil eye. This wasn't war's grim toll, it was theater, a message etched in wrought. Advance, and join them. The Sultan orders a probe. Scouts return vomiting, haunted. Plague's tendrils, already gnawing from Vlad's gifts, now feast unchecked the stench, a vector. Fever spiking in ranks. Thirst compounds it, poisoned wells yield brackish death. We came to conquer, one Bey laments in dispatches. but found only the grave's embrace. Mehmed, pride warring with prudence, feigns advance, burns Brela's ruins, then wheels south, the retreat. No rout, but a hollow echo, shadowed by 6,000 Wallachian harriers, picking at flanks. Vlad watches from the heights, stake in hand. They flee, not my steel, but my shadow. Yet victory's bloom wilts fast. Radu presses from the east. Deserters flock to the gentle brother Bojars, weary of spikes, peasants of famine. By August, Vlad's lines crack. Battles at Buzu and Ponary bleed his host dry. He flees to Ponary Castle, that eagle's nest on the Argic cliffs, where legend says his wife plunged into the gorge rather than face capture. Better the river than their chains. Vlad slips to Transylvania, begging Corvinus for aid, but betrayal awaits. Forged letters, Saxon gold, whispers of Vlad suing Mehmed for peace. Imprisoned in Hungary's towers for 12 years, the dragon caged anew. Vlad's chains clank till 1475, when Corvinus frees him, part redemption, part ploy against Mehmed's swelling shadow. With 200 Saxons and a papal blessing, Vlad reclaims Wallachia in January 1476, wedding a noblewoman, purging Radu's remnants with familiar zeal. But the Ottomans counter. Mehmed dispatches 180,000 under his general, but plague and unrest stall them. Vlad allies with Moldavia's Stephen, his cousin, once foe, and strikes at Ottoman flanks. Yet, on December 10th, near Snagov Lake, treachery fells him. Boyards turn, a spear finds his heart. His head, pickled in salt, parades Constantinople's gates, a sultan's grim trophy, buried. Legends point to Snagov Monastery, under lake waters, forever elusive. What lingers isn't bones, but myth. In Romania, Vlad's a hero, defender who bled for faith, his stakes a bulwark against the crescent tide. Ballads sing his justice, beggars burned not for poverty, but idleness, nobles spiked for treason. Europe, pamphlets from 1488 onward, paint him monster. Stories of Dracula, woodcuts of forests writhing in agony, inspiring Stoker's 1897 vampire that caped eternal from the crypt. But peel the Gothic veil, Vlad pioneered total war, his scorched earth, a blueprint for scorched policies to come. Biological whispers, echoes in later plagues, weaponized, psychological daggers. Modern psyops trace roots here, the forest as the first shock and awe. Rhetorical pause, was Vlad madman or martyr? His letters to Corvinus bristle with piety. I fight for the cross against the infidel, yet impale the innocent. Speculate with me, had Hungary stood firm, might Wallachia have stemmed the Ottoman flood, sparing Vienna's 1529 siege? Or was his terror a spark that ignited endless Balkan fires? Mysteries abound. Did he truly sup in leper colonies, fearless of contagion? Did Radu's love for Mehmed twist fratricide's knife? History's fog hides answers, but one truth shines. In 1462, a prince outmatched turned weakness to weapon, proving fear mightier than fleets. So, time travelers, what strikes you deepest? Vlad's cunning, his cruelty, or the fragile line twixt hero and horror? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Did the plague gambit change warfare forever? If this plunged you into the past's pulse, smash like, share with a fellow lorehound, and subscribe for more. Thanks for journeying with me. Until the shadows call again, keep questioning the tales they tell. Stay curious, stay fierce.